Scientists accidentally discovered a huge alien ship that had been stuck in the ice a million years ago, but it turned out there were survivors on it. A polar explorer named Olav is riding with his colleagues on a snowmobile through Antarctica and trying to pick up a radio signal. Olav worries that someone is in distress in the permafrost and asks for help. The intensity of the radio signal increases. Olav is confused because the signal is coming from underground. Suddenly the ice under the snowmobile cracks and the vehicle falls into the abyss. Luckily, the snowmobile gets stuck in the crack. The terrified men look down and notice a huge metal structure. They have no idea yet how dangerous this find is. Meanwhile, a young paleontologist, Kate Lloyd, is working in a lab in New York City. The girl is visited by a polar scientist named Sander. The man tells her that Norwegian geologists have found something amazing in Antarctica, but does not reveal any details.
We're flying down there tomorrow evening to examine the site, and I need a paleontologist.
Sander hints that in addition to the structure, the polar explorers have discovered some sort of creature. The curious Kate is intrigued and agrees to go. Her friend and colleague Adam flies with her. The young scientists have no idea what horror they will encounter in the permafrost. A couple of days later, the team flies up to the Norwegian base in Antarctica. On the way, Kate is introduced to the helicopter's co-pilot, Sam Carter. He warns the girl that a storm is approaching Antarctica if she doesn't finish her research quickly.
And the last place you want to be is cooped up with a dozen Norwegian guys.
But that doesn't scare Kate. She has a positive attitude. The helicopter lands on the pad near the Norwegian station. The team immediately jumps into a snowmobile and drives to the excavation site. They go underground and meet the station manager, Edward, and the geologists.
Let me show you why I flew 10,000 miles.
The team descends even lower and sees something unimaginable, a huge alien ship. Its size is staggering.
Holy shit.
Edward thinks the ship has been here for more than 1,000 years, yet only a couple of days ago, polar explorers picked up a radio signal coming from it. It happened at the moment when some sort of creature that survived abandoned the ship.
Survivor?
The group comes to the surface and witnesses the very creature. It is frozen into an ice sheet, trying to get out. Everyone is shocked by what they see. Kate thinks that the creature, along with the ice block, can be retrieved in half a day. People have no idea what dangerous venture they are about to embark on. It's getting dark outside, so they decide to postpone the operation until the next day. In the meantime, the team goes to the polar station. They discuss the work plan for the day after. The ice is thick enough not to crumble during the procedure. That said, Dr. Sander insists on the secrecy of their mission.
Make sure that everyone stays off the radio. We don't want any information out.
At night, Kate is nervous and can't sleep. She looks up into the starry sky and can't believe there is life on other planets. The next day, the ice block with the creature is cut out and brought back to the station. Scientists examine it and plan to transport it to the research center.
Before we do, I'm going to take a tissue sample.
Kate doesn't like this idea at all, because the conditions for such a manipulation are clearly unsuitable. In frustration, she walks off into another room. Sanders catches up with the girl and harshly tells her not to cross him again. Kate is shocked by his behavior. Just as Sanders intended, the polar explorer drills through the ice with a long drill. The ice cracks slightly in the process. Holding their breath, everyone observes how the drill severely grazes the alien. A piece of him is put in a container and given to Sanders to admire. People have no idea what mistake they have just made. In the evening, everyone celebrates their find and believes they will change the world. While in the next room, the ice block continues to slowly melt, but the scientists are oblivious to it. They're having fun and drinking. Kate continues to chat with the pilot Carter and asks him to find a more decent drink for her. The guy asks the polar explorer Griggs to go to the helicopter for some alcohol. Unsuspecting of anything, Griggs goes to the helicopter. The pilot, Derek, also decides to go for a walk. Suddenly he hears a strange sound from the room where the ice block is. Derek goes in there to make sure everything is fine. He examines the frozen alien. All of a sudden,
Boom! Jesus.
After being horrified by the friendly prank, Derek is about to leave when suddenly the alien actually bursts out of the ice block. With a terrified scream, he smashes the roof and escapes into the street. Even Griggs inside the helicopter can hear him growling. Terrified, Derek runs into the banquet hall and informs his buddies about the problem. Everyone just laughs at him, though, but Derek keeps standing his ground, and the team goes to check out the ice block. Everyone is shocked by what they see and decide to break into groups to search for the creature throughout the camp. Griggs joins the search and goes with his friends to inspect the helicopter. It's dark and barely visible, and the monster can't even be heard. The other team inspects the pen where their dog lived. The creature seems to have massacred the unfortunate animal and taken it away. Two other men, Henrik and Olaf, examine the wooden hut and hear the creature's clammy noises. The guys are terrified. Henrik screams. The poor Olaf is shocked by what he sees. He can't help his friend by himself, so he calls out to everyone. Henrik can no longer be saved, though they try to put down the monster with their gun. When that doesn't work, they decide to douse the monster with gasoline and set it on fire. After a few seconds, the creature is rendered harmless. The team gathers at the base. Many mourn Henrik and cannot come to terms with his loss, but the cold-blooded Sander intends to continue his experiments on the alien.
And as scientists, we're obliged to study it.
Carter disagrees. He believes that the creature must be destroyed and that Olaf, who is not well after what he has seen, must be taken to a hospital at a nearby base. But Sander stands his ground and begins to study the burned creature. The others stand nearby and watch in horror at his actions. At Sander's request, Kate comes out of her stupor and starts helping him. The creature exudes an unpleasant odor, which makes those gathered feel sick. The alien has already begun to digest its prey, but Henrik has barely changed his appearance. A geologist named Juliet is particularly affected by what she sees, and she leaves the room. Griggs rushes to comfort her. Kate continues her examination of the creature. A titanium plate from its arm lies in its stomach separately from Henrik.
So if this was in his arm, what's it doing out of him now?
The girl does not understand how this is possible and examines Henrik's tissues under a microscope. What she sees amazes her. The cells of the alien's body are attacking Henrik's cells and masquerading as them. Kate has no idea yet what her discovery means. In the morning, Olaf becomes even worse. Kate suspects that the man may have been affected by the creature yesterday. They decide to send Olaf to a nearby station by helicopter. Carter, Derek and Griggs are going to accompany the guy. Meanwhile, Kate notices someone's tooth caps on the bathroom floor. The girl collects them in a napkin and realizes something. Then she notices that the shower cubicle is all smeared with red liquid. The girl puts all the facts together and quickly runs to stop the helicopter. Someone in there might be infected, most likely Olaf. But it's too late, the helicopter has taken off.
What's wrong?
We shouldn't leave.
Carter notices Kate's signals below and is about to land the helicopter. Olaf senses that something is wrong, and starts to get nervous. Griggs tries to comfort him, but instead of consolation, a monster bursts out of Griggs. The helicopter in the sky immediately begins to move erratically and crashes behind the mountain ridge. Getting there from the station is impossible. Communications, too, are down because of the impending storm. People feel desperate. Someone has to take a snowmobile to the neighboring station and ask for help. But Sander wants to maintain the secrecy of what's going on at the base.
Edvard, det fuldstændig vanvittigt at bringe folk ind i det her udefra. Vi kommer til at miste det, vi har fundet.
Meanwhile, Kate checks the shower cubicle again. Someone has already removed the red liquid, as if they wanted to cover their tracks. Now Kate is also opposed to people leaving the station. The girl tells the people gathered about the alien cells, which have mimicked Henrik's cells. Kate suspects that the alien may have attacked someone human, replicated the victim, posed as that person, and waited for the right moment to attack. To prove this, the girl shows the teeth crowns.
It can clone cells, but not inorganic material. It couldn't copy these, so it spit them out.
And since someone cleaned the red liquid from the shower, it means that the creature is still at the base in human form. Kate asks that no one leave, but people don't believe her theory and pack up to go to the neighboring base. The only person left with Kate is the geologist Juliet. She's the only one who believes the girl and even saw the guy coming out of the shower with a towel. Juliet agrees that no one should be allowed off the base, and leads Kate into the back room to give her the keys to the snowmobiles, the only means of transportation. But when Kate turns away, Juliet transforms into the creature. It chases Kate across the room, but the girl manages to escape. Another guy who gets in the way becomes a victim of the monster. The team hides from the creature in the hallway, and a rugged polar explorer named Lars goes off to get a flamethrower. He soon returns and takes out the monster. The creature is no longer dangerous, but still they decide to destroy its remains outside. Now everyone believes Kate. It looks like the monster attacked Griggs the previous night while he was looking for a drink in the helicopter, concealed in the man, and then attacked Juliet. So he's proceeding stealthily and inconspicuously.
Could be any of us.
The people are losing trust in each other. Running away from the station is not an option, because then the virus will spread everywhere. People need to close off the station for quarantine. Adam offers to have everyone tested for the monster cells. Meanwhile, Kate and Lars disable all the snowmobiles so that no one escapes. Lars then lures the girl into the barn. Kate is afraid, but for some reason follows him. Turns out Lars just wanted to show her a case full of grenades to fight the monsters. And the storm keeps getting worse. All of a sudden, Carter and Derek, the pilots of the helicopter that crashed during the day, are approaching the station freezing to death. Lars is sure that the men could not survive such a journey, and points his flamethrower at them. But Kate begs him not to.
We can just lock them up until Sander's test is ready.
They decide to spare the guys and lock them in the barn, even though they object to this. Sander and Adam have already collected tests from everyone and are working in the lab. The men look at each other in disbelief, for any one of them could turn out to be a monster. When they step away for a few minutes, a fire breaks out in the lab. They quickly manage to put it out, but the test is ruined. Everyone begins to suspect Adam of setting the fire.
What are you, an asshole? I was the one working on the test. I left for 2 minutes!
The men are so angry that a fight almost breaks out, but Kate stops them. There is another way to figure out who is a monster. Kate asks Lars to open his mouth and shines a flashlight in there. The man has dental crowns, which means he can't be a monster, since the creature isn't capable of imitating inorganic matter. Kate and 2 other Norwegians also have dental crowns. This new way of identifying the monster is fine, but Adam has a reasonable question.
So I'm gonna get killed because I floss.
Nobody's getting killed.
Adam, Sander, Edward and 1 Norwegian either have healthy teeth or there are monsters lurking inside these people. They are separated from the others and held at gunpoint. Lars and his friend go to the captive pilots to check their teeth, but they have made a hole in the barn and escaped. This leads one to suspect that the pilots are monsters, but Lars goes looking for them carrying the flamethrower. The pilots are around the corner and quickly grab him. The surviving Norwegian returns to the company and bursts into the room screaming.
They attacked him! They got Lars!
The group is left with only 1 flamethrower in the hands of the Norwegian Pater, who no longer knows who to aim at. Everyone is nervous and yelling at each other. The squabble is interrupted by the sound of shattering glass. That means the pilots are already inside the building. The crowd, led by Pater, runs towards them. The pilots are also armed. Everyone is nervous and threatening each other. The people no longer trust each other. The pilot, Derek, can't handle it and shoots Pater with his gun. The Norwegian falls to the floor and one of the bullets hits the fuel cylinder for the flamethrower. A massive explosion occurs due to the fuel leak. The station chief, Edward, is seriously injured. Carter is in charge now, as he has the last flamethrower in his hands. The wounded Edward is being carried by 2 Norwegians. Suddenly he starts transforming into a monster. His arms separate and attack the polar explorers. Carter tries to deal with the monster, but the flamethrower becomes jammed. A long tentacle bursts out of the monster and wounds Adam. Derek fires his gun at it, but this only teases the monster, and it disarms Derek. The monster then completes its transformation and attacks the wounded Adam. The creature attaches itself to the guy, and now they are one. Kate manages to fix the flamethrower, but she doesn't have time to neutralize the monster. It flees the room. There aren't many survivors left at the base. Carter and Kate decide to stick together. The guy says his goodbyes to Derek and leaves with Kate. Carter arms himself with an axe. Now it's up to them to deal with the 2-headed creature and not get infected themselves. Sander is also alive and hiding in one of the rooms. Suddenly he hears the creature growling behind the wall. Soon it attacks Sander. Kate and Carter hear the man screams and close in on him. On the way, they are attacked by the monster's detached arm. Carter tries to deal with it with the axe, but the limb reattaches back together. Only a flamethrower helps get rid of it. The friends keep walking and hear the noise again. They decide to split up as they search. Soon the creature finds Carter unarmed, but the guy manages to escape into the kitchen. Here he hides in a corner and tries not to make any noise. However, the creature finds him by scent. It slowly approaches Carter and prepares to attack. Luckily, Kate arrives at the last minute and roasts the monster. The creature runs out into the street, where the girl deals with it for good. Kate and Carter are standing outside when suddenly they hear the sound of a snowmobile.
Sander.
Wait.
Sander is clearly already infected and is trying to get away. Carter is sure the creature will freeze on the way, but Kate is against such experiments. If it reaches other people, the virus can't be stopped. Carter fixes the snowmobile, and Kate fills it with gasoline cans and grenades. When everything is ready, they all leave the burning station and follow Sander. Kate is sure that he is headed for the spaceship. On the way, the girl finds out from Carter what happened to Lars. He is alive and staying in the barn at the station. The friends drive up to the cave and run inside. They walk across the roof of the spaceship and try to find the entrance. All of a sudden it starts preparing to take off, and opens its paddles. The friends try to escape, but Kate falls through the resulting gap. Carter is unable to help her in time. The unarmed Kate regains consciousness inside the huge ship. Fortunately, her flashlight is not broken. The girl goes to where the captain's bridge might be. Here she sees a holographic column. As the girl examines it, the creature that used to be Sanders appears behind her. It knocks the girl down and slowly approaches her. Terrified, Kate crawls on all fours down a tunnel of some kind. The creature chases her. The girl lies hidden around a corner and tries to hide from the monstrous tentacles. Meanwhile, she notices a grenade falling out of her pocket nearby. When the creature retreats slightly, Kate cautiously reaches for the grenade. The creature notices the movement and attacks again. Kate manages to retrieve the grenade before the tentacle grabs her leg. The creature pulls the girl out of the tunnel and tries to eat her, but instead, it gets a grenade in its mouth. At this point, Carter appears. There is an explosion, and the friends quickly flee the ship. There is no way the monster is flying away now. Exhausted, Carter and Kate emerge to the surface. The guy offers to go to the nearby base and asks the polar explorers for assistance.
We're gonna make it back, okay?
Carter gets on the snowmobile and waits for Kate, but the girl looks at him with suspicion. She remembers that Carter had an earring in his left ear and now it's gone. At the mention of the earring, the guy touches his right ear. This proves that he is a monster who doesn't know anything about the real Carter. Without further thought, Kate disposes of him and climbs into the snowmobile that Sander arrived on. She stares at one point in a stupor and tries to comprehend all the horror she has experienced. In the morning, a helicopter arrives at the Norwegian station from the mainland. The pilot is shocked by the chaos and destruction. The only survivor at the station is the terrified Lars. Pointing a shotgun at the pilot, Lars forces him to show his dental crowns. Everything seems to be all right. The pilot is not a monster. Suddenly, the dog that the monster attacked in the beginning runs out of the building. Lars realizes that the last monster is in front of him. He shoots at the dog, but misses. Then the men start chasing the dog in the helicopter. Lars shoots at it, but can't hit it. Would you be able to trust anyone if you were Kate? Share your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.